Oh my gosh. Big shout out over to Go Habs Go 31 on Reddit. I love myself a good Photoshop job. I make my own thumbnails. I use whatever funny graphics are available online to display the imagery of NHL stories through the world of modern media. And I love doing this stuff, so whenever I see a beautiful Photoshop like this, I just gotta go out there and use it, baby. Man, what an amazing job by Go Habs Go 31. But of course, you clicked on this video, maybe not necessarily for the Don Vito Corleone Kent Hughes, but because of the ideas that we'll be talking about here today. Let's talk about how it's just getting even better for the Montreal Canadiens. And I think a lot of this information is stuff that we had available to us. It's just when you put all this information together in a certain way, it really starts to articulate how amazing Kent Hughes' job has been so far. This post made by Go Habs Go 31 on the RHabs subreddit says this: in the past year, Kent Hughes has traded Jordan Harris, Justin Barron, Emil Heineman, 2 2025 first-round picks, and Logan Mailloux in exchange for Patrick Laine, a 2026 second, Alexandre Carrier, Noah Dobson, and Zachary Bolduc. Now, the text format of the Reddit doesn't really seem to be the friendliest, so if we go over onto Twitter, Habs on Reddit actually did post this same thing here, and it's a little bit easier to read, so let's just go over to their Twitter page and take a look at it over here. But in the past year, Kent Hughes traded these dudes, and the 2 draft picks, of course, in exchange for these dudes. Let's ignore the 2 lists of draft picks over here, so 2 firsts and a second. Just think about the guys who are coming onto the team and the guys that are departing the team. Defensemen, you've got Logan Mailloux, Justin Barron, and Jordan Harris. And defensemen coming in, you've got Alexandre Carrier and Noah Dobson. Not to mention David Reinbacher, who will be added onto the roster at some point. He's not on this list for obvious reasons. It's not like they traded for him, but Barron and Mailloux and Harris out, Carrier and Dobson in, hey, that's a pretty big upgrade. You can say whatever it is that you want about the Patrick Laine conversation in Montreal, but losing out on Emil Heineman and adding Laine and Bolduc, I'd say is a pretty good transaction. And in fact, this list right here of Kent Hughes making teams offers that they can't refuse runs deeper than just this, because if you wanted to isolate some of these names, I mean, here's a tweet posted by Jared Book that fully articulates more of this wizardry by Kent Hughes. Kent Hughes only spent 2 mid-first round picks, one of which was given to him straight up, to upgrade Logan Mailloux to Noah Dobson and Emil Heineman to Zachary Bolduc. Wizardry. Wow, when you put it like that, it's still really impressive. Massive upgrades on the wing and on right D. Another reply from Alikan Alizada says, do not count out Matheson. He still brings a lot when he is not heavily overplayed. Replacing Savard with Dobson is a major add. Also, maybe having Reinbacher come in mid-season or for the playoffs will give the Canadiens a really good decor. Gooley, Dobson, Hudson, Reinbacher, Matheson, Carrier, Xhekaj, and Struble. That is very, very good. But honestly, just thinking about this point right here, the price to upgrade Logan Mailloux to Noah Dobson and Emil Heineman to Zachary Bolduc is just 2 first-round picks. One of the first-round picks was given to you for free. Talk about asset management. Talk about Kent Hughes being super proactive. And I think it was Elliot Friedman who had spoke about this on the podcast the other day, that Kent Hughes was one of the most aggressive GMs, if not the most aggressive GM out there, heading into the draft and the free agency period. I mean, that is not surprising, and I think it makes for some very entertaining conversation and, of course, content here on the YouTube channel. You know, we're kind of blessed, to be honest. Like, I'm going to say that with Montreal, I'm not going to say that Marc Bergevin was, like, the best at making trades, but what I really respected about Bergevin was that he made a lot of them. And it's why we were able to make so many videos and garner so much attention, and now Kent Hughes is coming in here and doing the same thing. High-quantity trades, but even higher quality trades. He's going out there and really setting up his team into the next few years here. And if we go back over onto the subreddit, let's read some of the commentary by folks on the post here. That's ridiculous value, not gonna lie. The Harris, Barron, Heineman firsts in my U in exchange for Line, Carrier, Dobson, Bolduc in a second. Another reply says, it's early days and things may change, but man, does it feel good to believe in your team's management. This is why the Rangers are regretting letting go of Jeff Gordon. I know he's not the GM in Montreal, but he works hand in hand with Kent Hughes to make decisions like these. So, 3 currently non-rostered players, a 4th liner, and 2 mid-round firsts for 2 top 4 defensemen, 2 middle 6 forwards, and a second. Nice tidy bit of work, especially since we don't have room for the non-roster defenseman that he had traded. I love constantly parroting this, but one of those firsts was free from taking Monahan. And saying free is an understatement since we also got another pick for Monahan. Might I remind you, Sean Monahan was actually good in Montreal. He wasn't really supposed to be good considering the career path that he had had and the fact that he was kind of just rotating around lineups and floating around in hockey purgatory after his injuries, but these numbers don't lie. 17 points in 25 games in his first season in Montreal, 35 points in 49 games the year after. It's why, when he was traded over to the Winnipeg Jets, there was a first-round pick included coming over the other way. The Habs got 2 first-round picks for essentially taking on Monahan. They got one for getting him in the first place, and they got one for trading him away. And you get very legitimate production out of the player. Kent Hughes, man, what an absolute madman. A total Don. Like Vito Corleone. Maybe he's not going to win any Academy Awards anytime soon, but still, he's gone out there and set his team up very, very well. And now it's gotten to a point where Canadiens fans are calling Kent Hughes Went Whews because of the double W's. I mean, yeah, that's pretty fair right here. We're not going to read the thing over here, but yeah. Kent Hughes, man, he's doing some pretty good work. And I think just visualizing a lot of the Canadiens' transactions in this way, just taking a look at what's going in, what's going out, and taking a look at the upgrading cost of some of these players on the team, it really puts into a bigger perspective how much of a win this offseason has been for Kent Hughes. You know, we've already made a bunch of videos about this, but I can't stop hammering that point home. This guy is putting the Canadiens in such a fantastic spot, and there is only excitement heading into the 2025-2026 season. With that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, Kent Hughes, Francis Ford Coppola, Megalopolis going out here and doing the thing, making the trades, changing the dynamics of this team, and getting better every single year? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.